Is it time to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash? First off, read this disclaimer carefully. Then do your good deed of the day by liking and subscribing. So we do have a 49% from the 52-week low, minus 82% away from the 52-week highs. Here is Bitcoin Cash website, the .org. So yeah, peer-to-peer electronic cash, fast, reliable, low fees, secure, stable, and simple. So Bitcoin Cash brings sound money to the world, fulfilling the original promise of Bitcoin as peer-to-peer electronic cash. Yeah, so let's just jump right into the charts. This is a big picture weekly data points, and we do see that we are at a very low level historically. We recently formed something that looks a bit double bottom-ish, like that. And that is also a major double bottom. So yeah, definitively some interesting moves here. When we go to the daily data points, then we could make a strong case that this looks a lot like a rounding bottom. And that is a rounding bottom that is, it's not like mature, but it is definitively, it's getting going. So the purple 20-day moving average has gone from resistance to now becoming a clean support. So definitively some very constructive action here, and we are very far away from the highs. So if this is the low, then there is a lot of upside. Yeah, we became extremely oversold here on weekly RSI and PPO. Looking at the daily data points, so the issue with the most recent rally is that you can see that we did push into like overbought RSI. It was very shortable back. Let's do it like here. Here you can see that this RSI level is just not really working out that well for the bulls. We had the same level here, and that was also very shortable. So as such, the most recent pullback that we got here, it was completely to be expected, not a huge shocker. And it's just healthy. Now we can see that historically, as of late at least, Bitcoin Cash has a tendency to use both the low and high end of RSI. So it is basically, classic buy low, sell high. So I write 20 daily moving average support. I give the bulls 4 here on the technicals, and we do have a rounding bottom on the long-term radar. So as long as the bulls are able to protect the 20 daily moving average, then there's simply more reasons to be bullish than bearish on the technicals. And it's a very good news that we recently have seen a bit of a pullback after getting overbought. So here is the seasonality. So to the right here, over the last 5 years, we usually see some strength into mid-August, then some weakness into late August, but then you see here that the last part of August is usually very strong. To the left here, over the last 5 years, we do see that August, it closes lower 80% of the time with an average 9% loss. September is very weak. If we look here at the last 6 years, then yes, August is a mediocre month and September is one of the weakest months. And we can see here to the right that from early September all the way into the 22nd-ish of September, that's when you usually see some substantial weakness from Bitcoin Cash. So I give the bears here -6 on seasonality. There's quite a few issues here, but as we saw to the right end of the screen is that there usually is a lot of up and down within a month. But overall, yes, the seasonality is very messy. So I don't believe there are tradable fundamentals on cryptocurrencies, so let's just jump to relative performance. Here are the long-term correlations. So we do have 52% positive with S&P 500, 73% with the Bitcoin, minus 63% here with the dollar index, and 17% here with gold. Looking at the daily data points, we have 91% with the S&P 500, almost perfect with Bitcoin, 99%. But we can see that over time it's been a bit up and down. So we are now at the higher end of this correlation. Then we do have minus 87% here with the dollar index. In this case, it's on the low end of the range. And with gold, 86% positive, but in this case, it's on the high end of the range. But yeah, what happens with Bitcoin is definitively going to have a pretty substantial effect on Bitcoin Cash. So here is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still goofing around this red 200 week moving average. Here it was resistance, and now it is becoming support-ish. We are currently dead on that moving average. Ideally, you would want to see the bulls actually, start to climb, um, because the reason why we are just flat lining here is because there is a major tension now between the bulls and the bears. Ideally, you do want to see the bulls actually buy support levels a bit aggressively. We are not really seeing that now. So this is just a bit of a Texas Hold'em. Here are the daily data points. We are just resting here on the 20-day moving average. So it's a bit of a tense situation because the bears, they are obviously trying to close us below that moving average. If we were to do that, that is obviously not good at all. The bulls, however, obviously want the opposite. So this is just very tense. This is just a full cowboy standoff. So yeah, the coming days are definitively going to be very important for Bitcoin. Here is the relationship between Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin. So you can see here that yeah, we are potentially forming a bit of a rounding bottom here in this pair. So Bitcoin Cash has recently started to outperform Bitcoin. When we look here at the seasonality over the last 5 years, we usually see Bitcoin Cash underperform Bitcoin into the 17th of August, and then we do see a period of outperformance. Here is the relationship between Bitcoin and gold, and we do see that Bitcoin is emerging from this very oversold level. When we go here to the daily data points and get the seasonality over the last 5 years here in green, 7 years in blue, 10 years in red, we see that the coming period leading into the 1st of September usually is a time where Bitcoin outperforms gold. So I give the bulls a 3 here on relative performance. The biggest thing happening is definitively what we saw with Bitcoin. The major battle at this 200-week moving average in red is a huge deal for all of the cryptocurrencies. The bulls definitively must protect it, but we can clearly see that there are massive bears trying to make sure that we close below that important level, because if we do close below, there will be quite a few bulls that start to reduce their positions, and you will also have bears who build short positions on Bitcoin to benefit from that resistance. So the coming week is a huge deal. But yeah, we do have a 0.3 here in favor of the bulls. The key line in the sand is definitively the 20 daily moving average support. As long as it holds, there's more reasons to be bullish than bearish, but if it were to break, then that is not good. So we have some time left, so let's run through some charts. So here is Ethereum. In this case, we are far above the 200-week moving average, running a bit out of fuel here, but yeah, and we can also see that we are getting into trouble at horizontal resistance back here, 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 and here. So it's basically is a level where we expected the bulls to lose some confidence and maybe the bears to put on some short positions. Here on the daily data points, the blue 100-day moving average has been a big deal. So it recently has been a very strong resistance level. Now the bulls are sort of trying to turn it into support, The 20-day moving average here is a very clean support level. So the 20-day is haunting us here in the crypto space. Buy signal on the MACD here on the weeklies, on the dailies. Yeah, we are getting a bit rejected from higher end here of RSI, but that was to be expected. Here is Solana slash US dollar. So let's go to the daily data points. So the green 50-day moving average, clean resistance level here. Now it is becoming support. But here you do get this squeeze between resistance at 20-day moving average in purple and support on the 50-day. So similar to Bitcoin, we do see that there's a lot of tension now in the cryptos. Here is EOS slash US dollar. Yeah, I mean, we did become like super oversold here. New all-time low on the 13th of June-ish. On the daily data points, here again, purple 20-day moving average, super buyable. In this case, the blue 100-day moving average is such a clean resistance level here for the bears. They just come back here to short and short. But here as well, we do have a lot of tension. Fierce battle between resistance and support. Here is Chainlink weekly data points. Let's go here to the dailies. Yeah, so in this case, we have a bit of a rounding-ish bottom pattern. Here again, 20-day moving average in purple, very viable. In this case, we have been able to close above the blue 100-day moving average. So yeah. Here is Monero slash US dollar. A lot of strength here from Monero. We have seen that this kind of enthusiasm, it sometimes is met by some mean reversion, meaning we go down. So let's look a bit at RSI and PPOs. So we are in a danger-ish territory here on RSI and PPO. Also here on the MACD, we are seeing a bit of a rollover here on the MACD, not like a full-fledged sell signal yet, but we have seen that MACD has been relatively tradable in the past here for Monero. So yes, the bulls are still in control, but they are sort of being a bit rather, ballsy. Maybe a bit too much, but yeah. Here is Polkadot weekly data points. We see a rounding bottom here. Very clean rounding bottom. The problem here for the bulls is definitively this blue 100-day moving average. The bears have used it to short. And then again, we are emerging from a very low level. We are forming a strong rounding bottom. So definitively, this is a key level to watch going forward. If we were to be able to break out above it, then you would have quite a few short positions that must have to just be covered. And that could trigger a bit of a short squeeze. Here is Cardano slash US dollar, and here the red 200-week moving average is a huge deal. In this case, we are very clearly below it. Then again, the bears are not able to trigger a major sell-off, at least yet. So if we go here to the daily data points, here again, the purple 20-day moving average continues to be a support level. The blue 100-day is a clear resistance level. So there is tremendous tension in the crypto community now. We have very important support levels and resistance levels in play. So the coming weeks are going to be extremely important. This is definitively a time where the bulls must really rally the troops and push hard. Simultaneously, the bears are definitively trying to do the opposite. They absolutely want the bulls to freak out at these levels, because if the bulls are not able to get above the 200-week here in red, then the bulls will lose faith, and if they start to sell, to reduce their exposure and risk, and that selling pressure could be enough to smash through this floor that has been built. So there is definitively a very dynamic relationship between technical levels and the psychology of the market. So it is very much like a battle. And in this case, we have extreme tension. So some kind of major move will very likely happen soon. And it really is up to the bulls and bears now to really make that big move. If I were to lean in one direction, I would lean a bit bullish, but the more time the bulls use now, the less bullish I will feel.